Well, hello and good Friday, everybody. Welcome to ZBrush Live. And again, as always, let's just make sure the video and audio are working well. So if you can hear me on Twitch and on Facebook or YouTube, any of the services, let me know in the chat and I will get going. And while you are doing that, I want you to invite you to like the ZBrush or the Maxon channel and subscribe to the ZBrush Live events so you get notified when we have new stuff. And leave a comment, of course. And if you have questions, you can ask during the stream. But of course, if you're watching this after the fact, you can leave your question in the comments and hopefully somebody will get back to you. I check them every once in a while, but we are always answering questions and helping the community out. So again, if anybody can let me know if you can hear me okay, if my voice is coming through loud and clear, and if you can see my screen, we can get going. All right. So here we are, continuing to work on this fellow over here, and yeah, I'm still not getting a response. Wow, there's a lot of people watching today, so I'm hoping a lot of people are off of school and whatnot. So you are you're able to watch. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and turn off all of the poly paint on here, so I can just look at the sculpt. And I'm still not hearing anybody, so I'm kind of a little bit worried that you're not hearing me okay. So yeah, if anybody watching this could just go to the chat and type in, we can hear you, we can see your screen, that would be awesome. And then we can get going. I haven't really touched this thing since last time. I've been on a little vacation trip. Well, a little bit of vacation, a little bit of business. And so I am back now, and of course didn't really have a chance to work on this at all. I think last time we were working on the gloves. Okay, great. Dylan Smith Sculpts, thank you very much for letting me know. So we're good on Twitch, and I'm hoping we are also good on YouTube. So if you do hear me on YouTube, let me know. All right, so I think last time we're working on the hands here. I think they're a little bit too big. Let's go ahead and resize them just a tad here. I think I've got symmetry on. I do, and I want to just resize them like right from about here. Yeah, they're looking a little bit way too big. So, all right, so if I'm doing this, notice here that it is conflicting with the hand underneath. So what we're going to do here is let's see how much of this inside part we are seeing. So if we're not seeing any of it, I can just replace the hands with the gloves. So I'm just going to hide the gloves for a minute and go to the body. So I guess if I just move to any other tool that is visible. Okay, so let's look at this guy right here. Okay, and this is the body, which I'm assuming I have hidden some of it. No? Okay, so I just basically had some hands. So I guess if I just hide these hands and show the gloves, we should be okay. Let's move to the gloves. All right, so here are the gloves. And we'll just hide the hands underneath. And so now when I resize, that will not come up from below. All right, so what's happening here is it's resizing. I mean, I do have symmetry on, but I don't have local symmetry on. So it's resizing from where it is. So I'm going to turn local symmetry on because I want to resize where it is. Now, this is working right, but then it's bringing this one over. That's because I've got a dynamic local symmetry on, so I'm going to turn that off. And now we should get what we are expecting, which is to resize the hands. And this is something that I'm going to look at from a distance to see if it's working. That's good. And I'm also going to move the hands up a bit here. Again, let's get that gizmo out of the way. Right, I think that's looking a little bit better. Right, let's take a look at it up close. There is a little bit of intersection going on here. but not that much. I'll just move it down just a tad, and then just use the move brush to tuck these parts in a little bit, just to kind of get this to work correctly. Again, I think we discovered this trick with veins last time, but I think I went a little bit overboard with it. So I'm just going to smooth some of this down, because the gloves are a little bit way too wrinkled, especially on the inside. I don't think I need it to be this wrinkled. All right, and looks like it's got like little sausage chips over here that I need to fix. All right, I think if I use the flat H-polish brush, I think that'll work a little bit better over here. Yeah, I just don't need those kind of wrinkles at the end. Oh, didn't mean to mask there. So yeah, I do want a little bit of wrinklage, but I don't want too much. I think a little bit overboard is a little bit too much. And then also with these wrinkles, I lost the structure of the gloves, so I need to go back and put those in somehow. And for that, I'm going to use the Damien Standard brush. Right. All right. If anybody's on YouTube, I would appreciate we can hear you from there too. There's quite a few people watching today. It's like more than any other time. So I wonder if people are on vacation and they have the time to watch. But thank you if you are on live. I know you can watch this after it's recorded. And I always appreciate when people are on live with me and are participatory. It makes the experience a lot better for me and everybody else. So I'm going to take this down to subdivision level 2 here and see if there's any structural things I need to change. All right, so I did something new today. I put in the links. I noticed some other streamers were doing that, so I kind of am using that best practice. And I put some links in the video as well, so you can get to it. Okay, good, Gabriel. Thank you very much. 100% great on audio. That's good news. And let's get back to the H-polish here. And if you guys are asking questions, I'm sorry, I'm not looking at the chat, but every once in a while I will stop and kind of take a look. Again, I'm not going to work too detailed on this here on the hands. I just want to get enough of a gesture, you know, to look good from a certain distance. And if I get that, then I'm good to go. Again, all these are polygrouped, so if I want to work on this specific finger, it's polygrouped. And I think last time I showed how to do that. So it's always a good idea with hands to polygroup them. That way you can individually work on each finger and get it to look okay. And I think the pinky is looking better here. And again, here I'm just kind of working in the first subdivision level, so it's a bit blocky, but that's okay. Because once I go up in subdivision level like this, some of the details will come back. And again, I'm just straightening it out. And again, I used the cloth simulation to kind of get these wrinkles. I don't know if it did that good of a job in this top part, but Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So during this break, I am working on a tutorial, which I'm going to make available soon. So stay tuned for that. I'll probably talk about it on my next stream, which will be in 2 Fridays. And so yeah, stay tuned. Some good stuff coming your way. And this is at subdivision level 2. Notice I'm adding details, but this is looking a little bit not what I'm intending it to look like. I just want to put these rings on. And this is a subdivision level 2, but I'm just trying to see if this will work better. Let's bring in the rest of the hand to see if this really, maybe not. Maybe I won't do this kind of extra bit like so. All right, that's fine. Again, subdivision level 2 here. I don't know if I want to go more than subdivision level 3 on these hands. But we'll see. Again, if I were to 3D print this, maybe I would have a little bit more focus on it. Let's look and see how this finger is looking. It's looking not bad. And again here. Now, all the fingers don't really need to look the same. So maybe this one has like a wire or something coming this way. And let's see if we can accentuate that with some Damien Standard here. All right, I just glanced at the questions and nobody has any questions. That's always good, I guess. All right, then. Bring the rest of the hand back. The single click is always a little bit of a challenge on the tablet, but I think the folks that I spoke with have a solution to that. They're saying use one of the buttons, which might be an option for the single click, but we'll see. It's amazing how much of sculpting is establishing the planes, and H-polish is really good for doing that. Oh. All right, that looks okay. Now, I don't know if I like this kind of, I don't know if this would happen. I mean, it might. There definitely would be a break in the fingers like that. All right. Let's take a look at this finger on its own. I'm really accentuating this. I should be doing that in at lower subdivision level, but it's fine. Right, and then let's work on the index. Looks like it got thinner here, so I'm just going to go to the inflate brush and inflate the tip a bit. It's not a good place to do it. And just subtlety is the key here. I don't know why I just got this really raised part over here. It's a little bit too much. Let's get that to be a little bit less, and then all right, some questions. Danielle, hello. Impressive mod, thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. How many subtools? Okay, so right now I have a lot of subtools on this. It's 103, but I'm not using all of them, right? So there's some subtools that are hidden that I probably will get out of here. But I'd say, you know, it'll probably come to about maybe 80 or so when I get done with it. Maybe a little bit more, I don't know. But yeah, I usually have a lot of subtools that are duplicates, and I have them just because, you know, I kind of like the state that they're in, so I just duplicate them and work on a duplicate, or, you know, kind of take it to the next step, to the next stage, and then eventually I move the old ones out into a folder, into another tool called builders, right? So I've got this builder here. It's got a lot of the older things. I don't know if you guys remember, but this was kind of what the helmet looked like in the initial stages. It had these little wings here and whatnot. So all these I kind of moved to this other folder called builders, and eventually I will, you know, move that folder out of the project even, and just have it just in case, you know, if I'm working on something and a work project or something, and I need something, it is similar to what I'm working on, I always go to the builders folder and see if I can salvage anything from there. It's always easier to use something that's already made than to make it again from scratch. But sometimes if you make it again from scratch, you do it better, so who knows. But if I'm crunched for time, which is more of the case than not, I will go back and use those parts. All right, so the hands here, maybe change the gesture a little bit forward here. And again, this is just going to be more of a casual pose, and I intend to get this thing into Character Creator at some point and animate it. All right, at this point, I'm kind of happy with the hands. I'm liking what I have. It's a bit too symmetrical, but it's fine. I mean, I think if it articulates in Character Creator, then we're good. Okay, so let's see, what else can we work on here? So the hands, I'm going to kind of call it done for now. Let's move on to some other parts here. How about these elbow pads? Create a little bit of a bracket here. An easy way to do this is to use the trim hole. So let's see. Do I have that here? Trim hole. It's too much. All right, so what I want to do is just slap this to. All right, so there's a really kind of smart way to do this, and that's with the gizmo. So here, I'll just kind of tap the gizmo and move it here. So if I click anywhere on this surface and move the gizmo, it basically adjusts the gizmo so it is on the surface. So if you can see here, that gizmo is basically pointing to the surface. Now what I want to do is point the screen to kind of the Z of the gizmo, and I think there's a way to do it, and that is, where are you? It's one of these items here. Let's see. Haven't used it for a while. Where are you? Deformer, something camera. Did I remove it? No, it's here. I'm just not seeing it. It's one of those things where I'm looking at it, but I'm not seeing it. No. Deform or soft. Just do this slowly. Deform or curve. Deform project primitive. Remesh decimation. So where did it go? Yeah, there was a thing that basically slapped the camera to it. I think they took it out, but they did something here. So like if I click, I'll click in here. No, that's not it. It's not it either. Yeah, there's this thing that would just kind of rotate the gizmo and place it this way, and I forget what it is. So I'm just going to eyeball it. How about that? Okay. Yep, and that's the angle I want. So I'm just going to go ahead and it's so funny. As much as I use ZBrush, there's always a time where I forget certain things. And, you know, kudos to some folks. They contact me after the fact and let me know. Like I was struggling with one thing the other day, and in one of the older streams, and somebody watched it, and they actually came back and told me, hey, you know, this is kind of the thing you're missing. And I appreciate that. Because sometimes, you know, I learn features, and there's just so many capabilities that ZBrush has. It's very hard to kind of keep track of all of them. I think a good use for AI would be to contextually let me know what it is that I'm looking for. I'm seeing that. I'm seeing help being incorporated into AI being incorporated into help in programs. I think that's kind of a good place for it. Definitely a better place than replacing artists in companies. But yeah, even in Google searches, and you know, it's like starting to pop up everywhere. Again, I don't really want to go in too deep into this, but I just kind of want to define some of the things that are happening here. So if this is going to bend, it's got to be a lot thinner. So I'm assuming that this thing right here is some sort of, not a hard surface thing, but more of kind of a foam or some sort of a material that actually is malleable. So I'm creating the areas in which it would bend. All right, so to accentuate this, I'm going to use two brushes that I don't usually use as much. And I kind of do, but let's see, do I have pinch on here? Yeah, I do. All right, so I'm going to use the pinch brush just to pinch this. And I lied, pinch is the only one that I don't use that often, and I don't use it because it really kind of jacks up the geometry. And I don't know, is this, it is, I can just redynamesh it. But pinch kind of gets that look of things kind of bending and folding in. So I'm going to do that. And I could do some of this with Damien Standard as well, but pinch does it a little bit better. Redynamesh this. And the other one I'm going to use is inflate, which is something I use all the time. I have it in my frequent brushes list. So inflate here. And I should have just masked and done this too. This is another way to do what I'm trying to do. All right. So in kind of my doing this, I'm kind of discovering that this middle section here could be completely different. I'm going to solo this out so I can work on it individually. So I'm going to take this entire middle section and mask it. This, invert that mask, again with that click, like that. And I'm going to see if I can push this in a little bit and create some sort of a, here we go. This is what I want, redynamesh it, and that kind of creates this, a little bit more of what I want. Let's see the context of the rest of the model. All right, I don't want it to actually intersect with what's underneath, so I'm going to pull this part out a bit. There. So that looks a little bit more believable that it bends. And the other thing is that this part right here needs to move. What happened to the hands? Did we hide them unexpectedly? Yes, we did. Let's bring them back. All right. So this is kind of an elbow thing, but it's not where I want it to be. So let's go ahead and move that as well. So I'm just going to mask it like so. Solo it out. So I was in Tokyo for about 9 days or so, and I saw some really cool mech stuff there. Was of course, as it always is, it was a very mech-centric, Gundam-centric trip. And for those of you that were following me, you probably saw my stories that I posted. I did post a couple of pictures. I'll show you guys here on my Instagram. So I saw this big Gundam in Yokohama, which was really amazing. Like this whole thing moves, like it's in this big platform, and you can see people here watching it. So there's 2 platforms here that people can watch it at. Of course, I wasn't able to get tickets to those because they're sold out, but it would be cool to kind of see it from here. And this whole thing, you can see there's a whole thing that pushes it forward and it articulates. It was really cool. And I also saw the one in Odaiba, which is newer than the one I had before. You can see that if you go back in my Instagram photos, I have that one. But this is the Unicorn Gundam, and it's pretty neat too. So yeah, it was pretty amazing to see these things live in person. And I shared a bunch of other things too in my stories. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, you'll get to see those when they happen. But yeah. All right, so fixing this thing here, I'm just going to move it to where I want it to go. Again, this is Dynamesh, so I can play around with it as much as I want. So I just kind of want to get it to where the elbow is, and then just polish it after that. So let's see here. It's always a good idea to look at it from all different angles. All right, that's good. Redynamesh, and that basically just kind of puts it in place. And then just use Damien Standard to go in and redefine the edges of this thing. Now, what subdivision level? Okay, so I don't have any subdivision levels. That's right, it's Dynamesh, so that's perfect. Let me solo this out. All right, so I got to fill this area up. There's different ways of doing it. Smooth kind of does it a little bit, but it'll take a lot to do. So I'm just going to use clay tubes. Just fill this in. Like that. Let's go ahead and go back to this one right here. Holy crap. Man, I'm getting a record number of people watching me today. I don't think I've had this many people watching. Thank you for joining. Much appreciated. So yeah, new tutorial coming, Twitch channel. I'm starting one at some point. I keep promising, but I think we're getting close. So I might be doing the Fridays that I don't do this. I might be doing my own Twitch channel. Twitch and YouTube. I'll probably try and see if I can do both. Or do it on Twitch and then post it on YouTube after. I don't know if that's a source of revenue in any way, shape, or form, but it'll be fun to be doing 2 simultaneous projects. I mean, I probably usually do 2 anyway, or 2 or 3. I've got so many going. Or maybe the other channel will be something a little bit different. All right, so now what I want to do is I want to separate this piece out. And the way I'm going to do that is, again, just mask it. Because this is probably going to be like a hard surface piece. Right, and let's go ahead and what I'm doing now is just clicking on it to soften the mask, and then I'm going to control alt click on it to harden it. That looks good, and then just use Extract Pro plus Ultimate to pull it out. Where are you? Oh, wrong menu. Duh. All right, there it is. Extract Pro plus, and that basically just creates a new subtool and zero meshes it for me. Does a whole bunch of stuff. Let's just let it do its thing. Oh, I heard that ding. That could be a crash. Please don't crash. All right, I'm just going to not touch it and see what happens. Is it back? Is there a dialog box on this other screen that I'm not seeing? Look, nope. Oh, no, please don't crash. All right, let's see what Task Manager says. Task Manager says ZBrush is still running but not responding. Oh, does not look good. All right, I'm just going to let it sit for a while. I don't, we did a lot of work. I don't want to start all that over again. Save early, save often, folks. Good reminder. Right. Still not responding. All right, looks like it's using a bunch of different processes. Oh, nope, gone, died. All right, I don't know if it even saved, but yeah, that was it. Oh, unhappiness. All right, so of course it's got a dialog box and another screen too. And I can't, let me just see what's going on here. All right, let me just resize this back to the screen here. And I don't know if it had time to quick save, so we will see in a few minutes. If it did, I don't see it, so I would say it did not. All right, recover tool. Let's see if there's any hope. Well, it recovered it, but the Extract Pro Plus, I guess I made fun of it, so it decided to crash on me. How about that? All right, anything? No. It says 104 subtools. Oh, they're there. All right, well, you know, it's better than nothing. And it's got one piece that is not good, which is this one right here. And let's delete that piece. All right, where's the rest of it? It seems to be here. All right, well, the thing is, we just worked on the hand. I don't know why it's not coming up. But I wonder if I can just save this subtool out. Okay, so I'm going to do this. I'm going to go ahead and say save as. I think this is a good thing that happened because you can see me recover from a catastrophe like this. I mean, you know, as far as catastrophes go, it's not that bad. Let's see, it's what, about 45 minutes of work. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just save this as. Does it even have, it's not showing anything at all. Switch. There it is. Okay, so I do have it. Somehow it's not showing up. It's still there somehow. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just see which one of these hands was the one that I worked on. And I think was it hand cover? I think it was one of these guys, and I want to say it's this one. So I'm just going to export that. Let's go to the folder of this thing. Sorry, folks, a little bit of a snag, but not that big of one. All right, let's just go to OBJ and hand. I think that's the one thing we worked on, and then let's see if it kept the elbow pads as well. So I'll just re-import those in. Yep, there's that. Export as well. Right, and I'll just go ahead and open up the project that I started with. I'm not going to save this. And there we go. And then just re-import those two pieces to see if we're going to be good to go. All right, let me do a couple of things real quick here. Document, no, document double, AA half, there it is, there, okay, so this has the old hands, which is fine, and I think hand cover, okay, so I didn't say the right thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And in the duplicate, I'm just going to go ahead and import the hand that I exported. All right, for some reason, the size is much bigger, but not a problem. I'm assuming if I resize it, it's going to just match up. Right, hide this one, and there it is. Okay, so we recovered all the work we did on the hand, so that's good news. And I think this is further up. And maybe, yeah, there we go. All right, so yay, that's a good 20 minutes saved. And then let's see what's the scoop is with the elbow thing. Again, I'm going to hide all the colors on this thing, so it's gray. And let's go to the elbow piece, which is this one, and let's duplicate that and import into it the elbow pad. All right, got that as well. All right, so no work lost. We've got everything that we were working on, except this time I'm going to see, I'm going to quick save, right? It's a good idea to do a quick save at this point, and then we'll try the extract again. So, whew, was able to recover. All right. Now back to these elbow pads, back to where we were. And let's go ahead and redo the masking. This time I'm going to do the masking a little bit differently. I'm just going to do it this way. And maybe this time I will not make fun of Extract Pro Plus Ultimate Pro Maximum Here I go making fun of it again. I am making fun of it. It's going to crash again. If it does, then we know that this plugin has supernatural powers. All right, here we go. All right, cross your fingers, knock on wood, and do all the things. And extract Pro Plus. And this time it just did it, right? So I don't know what happened last time, but this time it was just very immediate. Right, this kind of creates this nice little piece for me. It's if I subdivide it a couple times, it's nice. And I'm going to do something here to see if it works. I'm going to do a clay polish on it, just to see if I can get some nice crisp edges. Excuse me. Right, don't need edge loop, need clay polish. And let's give it an edge of 0.2. And do that. Yep, that's giving me what I want, more or less. It's got a little bit of, I don't know why it gets these spikes, but I can easily get rid of them by just hitting Shift and letting go and just moving the cursor on them. Okay, so these are the elbow pieces, and I'm gonna give, oh, is there inside? There is. So this is probably what caused the issue last time too. And I'll turn double on so you can see. So see this little piece on the inside? So something got masked on the other side too, and that caused the problem. So here I'm just going to go down in subdivision levels, and I'm going to bring up this, and I'm going to use Z modeler and delete island to get rid of this little. This is exactly probably what happened, is that there was let's delete the higher subdivision levels for now. Do this, and then redivide it. Okay, so those kind of points that you saw were these little knots over here. So this thing. So I'm just going to try and zero mesh it again. See if I can get rid of those. Yep, and it brought those in, which is what I want. And I'm going to try it one more time. See if we can get anything better. I think that's good enough. All right, so now I'm going to subdivide this a couple of times and then hit it with clay polish with a 0.2 again to see if I can get some harder kind of corners. Right. I think I went a little bit too much. I think this is good. Again, this should disappear. And I'll get that. Okay, and then I'm just going to do dynamic on this. No smooth, but add some thickness to it. Maybe a little bit more thick than that, like that. Here we go. That's good enough. All right, so we got some elbow pads, and then let's bring everything back. All right, so there are the elbow pads, and what I want to do here is push the elbow pads in. A little bit, not too much. And let's go ahead and apply that thickness. And then I'm just going to use inflate to go back to this guy right here, undo the mask. Well, let's just leave the mask for now and just inflate around it. Again, the thing underneath is still a Dynamesh piece, so it should work fine. And I just want to get this little bit of a lip over here. Like that. And yeah, there it is. And then I'll add some, there we go, that did it. So I've got kind of a harsher elbow pad here, and I've got a softer inside part that bends. And again, this is a little rough here, but just a little bit of polishing will get it to where I want it to go. Go to Demon Standard here, and just this is how it would bend. Like so. All right, you guys are, is Maxon down? What do you mean is Maxon down? You mean their website? I don't think so. Let's see here. Oh, they're there. Oh no, this is not them. Maxon ZBrush. All right, there it is. No, Maxon's there. Whoa. Okay. Huh. What is going on? Maybe they're updating their website or something like that. But yeah, I guess they are. Ivan, good to notice. You know, who knows? Maybe they're updating their website. All right, Dynamesh. Right, so we got some hard surface pieces on here as well as some kind of malleable. I have to figure out what to do with this kind of edge. I'm just sharpening it up a bit to see if that makes a difference. All right, I think that's good enough for that. And let me just put a bit of a wrinkle here to where this would again fold and bend. All right, so this is looking pretty good. All right, let's see. Do I want to do here? I'm just going to put a panel. So these are kind of panels that he controls. So let me just, I think I did this last time, but I'm not sure. So I did, yeah, I have separate panels on here. So these will kind of be like LCD panels or something like that, where he can kind of control his environment. One on each side for backup. Okay, and I don't know if I need to do anything there. All right, let's do a little bit more work on the shoes here. I think I need to just leave these as kind of simple as possible. I don't need to do a lot of work. All right, we're getting there. We're getting there. We're getting there. I think it's time to start adding some tertiary detail. All right, let's do another quick save. All right, so inadvertently, you guys got to watch me recover from a crash. And, you know, sometimes if there's the ZTL, you can load it in and you can use the tools from it and just export out what you worked on. And then you can just go ahead and import it into the latest one of your projects that you had. All right, so I want to do some tertiary detail work on this helmet. So for that, do I have a Kitbash thing loaded in here? I do have one, which are these tubes. And I don't know if there's any one of these that I could use. These are from, I don't know who these are from. I think they could be from Oleg Ushanok. I buy a lot of his stuff. So let's see if any of these would work. These are all tubey kind of things. Let me do this real quick here. This is something I just do with my Kitbash parts, just kind of get them all on in one area. And what I'm doing here is I'm just using the all subtools and just selecting some of the subtools. I just kind of want these all to be in the same area. And then let's just do this, and then let's move these back. And I'll probably just save this as just a tubes Kitbash part and use it that way. These are separate pieces, but I don't think there's anything in here that I want to use. I did use a couple of the pieces in the model. I'll show them to you. I think they are over. Yeah, I used a couple of the tubes over here, just kind of as a link in the mask, and they work really well. But I didn't really think of using any more of them. Do I have any other Kitbash kits in here? No. Let's see. I made this thing a while back with alphas, and I made this thing with alphas. But I think that's all of it. Okay, so I don't have Kitbash parts, which is fine. I guess I could make some. And I also want to use some tertiary detail work. Okay, so let me bring up my Rolf, thank you very much. I appreciate it. What I'm going to do next is bring up my reference here just to kind of get some ideas of things to add to the top of the head, the helmet. I mean, it's kind of got some of the details, but they're not really as detailed as I like. So I've got, at this point, I'm feeling pretty good that I've got everything to secondary form level. And then the next thing I'm going to do is just bring it over to tertiary forms and just add the detail work, which of course is always the most fun part of any project. Right, let's see, recent, I think this is it. All right. Okay, so think what I'm going to do is load up some alphas here. So just going to go to import and dig through my alphas and pick a bunch. Sorry, I'm doing this off screen because it's just drudgery and I don't want to bore you with it. But I usually load these in beforehand, but since it crashed, they all went away, so I need to do it over. Not a big deal. Right, let's go here. And I basically used a bunch of different ones. I like the Kiosk Masons ones. They have some cool alphas, so I'll just load a bunch of those in. And I'll show them to you after they're in. I think one of the things I want to do is just isolate the ones that I use more frequently than others. I'll do that one of these days. Sorry about that, folks. All right. Let's go back to large icons. All right, let's start with these guys. Right, so here if I go to alphas, you'll see that I just added a bunch down here. I'm going to add a few more from another Kitbash or alpha kit. Should do it. All right, I should have enough alphas to work with. All right, so now I'm just going to switch over to the helmet. Now the helmet is still, I think, if I'm not mistaken, nope, I did pull it into, so it's not a Dynamesh. So I'm going to see if I have enough I'm going to see if I have enough resolution to start putting these alphas in. All right, I'll start out with this one. Let's see. All right. Okay, I think it's good enough. All right. Okay, so let's bring this back and start putting some of these alphas in. let's see what other alphas we can use here. How about this one? Is always a good one to use. Now this one has a gray background, so it's kind of not where it needs to be. So I need to change its, where are you, mid value to 50. And I'm assuming it's 50% gray. I'm hoping it is. Let's see. Nope. All right, what are you? I think I have mid values somewhere in my UI, don't I? Should. Yeah, here it is. All right. Let's try 40. Nope. So 45. 45 it is. All right, so let's say we want to put this somewhere. All right, where do those fit? Let's see. It's got them over here. And the reference. Now, of course, these are really kind of messing with the geometry, but since I've got decent topology on the helmet, I think I'm okay. I don't need to do much. But here. Yeah, that works. All right, so one big mistake I made when I did this is I did not store a morph target. So I'm going to do that. Store a morph target. Always do that, because if you don't do that, then it's going to be hard for you to kind of undo what you did. So I just stored a morph target, and now I can get back some of the forms if I do things that I'm not very happy with. I kind of lost those things on there, but it wasn't that big of a deal to add them, so I can always add them again. I'm just kind of trying to see how this would fit into here. How about, here we go. Right there. And I could probably have like something sticking out of here. But that works. Okay. All right, let's go ahead and pick another alpha here. Let's go ahead and pick which one. Let's see. How about this one? Now I need to change my mid value back to 0 because the background of this is black. And so here I'm just using this other thing instead. Has a similar kind of effect. Now, what I want to do is I want to put a bunch of these on. So I'm not going to use drag rectangle as a stroke. I'm going to use drag dot. Okay, and so with drag dot, you just basically can place these and they'll all be the same size. It's a bit of a challenge to put more than one on, but once you set a brush size and you put one in, you can go ahead and put another one in, and it's going to be exactly the same size. So a trick to do this correctly is you just drag it in the direction you want it to go in. So there we go. So I've got two of these things now. I know for a fact that they are the same size. So drag dot is really good for that. And I can continue to add them, and they're all going to be the same size. So let's say there's two of these on here, and then maybe there's two somewhere else. Maybe two over here like that. Okay. Again, I know they're the same size, and I know that my Z intensity is the same, so I'm adding the same detail in multiple places. All right. And then I'm going to switch to Damien Standard here, and I'm just going to sharpen this, but I need lazy mouse on, so I'm going to give this thing a lazy radius. Let's say about 27. And I just want to sharpen that edge, like so. Right, and then I'm going to do the opposite this way and define this over here a little bit more, like so. And let's get this inside part to come in and the outside part. All right, so now I kind of messed this one up, right? So not a problem. I smoothed it inadvertently. So what I can do is I can just bring my morph brush up, which I should have. Where are you? Nope, it's under here. Morph. Nope. How about here? Morph brush. Probably was in one of the previous ones. Let's see. Let me take a more in-depth look. New, and where are you? What? Here it is. Yeah. Okay, so with the morph brush, I'm just going to revert this back. And then go back to Damien Standard. Get this back, and this time I want to make sure I don't mess with the detail. All right, so going back to that initial brush, which is this one, my drag alpha brush. Now, if I do this, notice it's smaller, right? It's not the same size. But what I can do here is I know where these go. So again, I'll go back to the morph brush, and I will close these guys back up. To the way they were. Right, and then go back to this guy over here. And this time I'm going to remember what the draw size is. So right now it's at 2, let's say 5. So once I remember that it's 5 and I make a note of it, then I know that it's going to be 5. 5 is too much, maybe 4. Now I know every one of these that I add is going to be 4. And again, the way to do it is you just start from where you're going to go and then end it there. And then these ones, Here's one right here. And here's the other one. Okay, and all right, other alphas that are interesting. There's this one. I always like that one. I don't know what kit it's from, but it's really useful. And I usually use this really big too. This is making a major change, but my geometry is still handling it. And I'm wondering if I want to keep that or not. I don't know. Again, if I decide not to use it, I have the morph target that I can go back to, so I'm good. All right, I've got some circular shapes over here. Let's move on to this one. Oh. And let's see, what kind of topology do we have here? I'm not seeing its topology. Come on. Here we go. All right, so this is good topology as well. All right, let's see if I can pick a circular alpha, maybe this one. And let's see what we can do with it. Oh. Nope. I'm not going to use that one. Let's see. How about this one? I got a ton of circular alphas. I didn't bring them in, but I can go bring them in now that I have this. What if I go the other direction? All right, so that's a good base for it. Let's see what that looks like. It's a bit too much. So let's drop the Z intensity down. Not that much, maybe a little bit. Let's go to 38. And no. Let's go to 40, but let's make the draw size a bit smaller. There, that works. I'm wondering if I should drop tubes from there or if I just leave it the way it is. I think leaving it the way it is works. Let's see what it gives to the silhouette. All right, so I've got this piece over here. And what I can do is I can just, let me see. Yeah, let me see if I can just duplicate that piece. I'm using control to just, what? Oh, I got this on. Control to just create a copy of it, rotate it, and let's put it here, see if that works. Now, one big mistake that I see over and over again people do is they resize things. So like, see this thing over here? If I have to resize it, it's not going to work. Because in the manufacturing process, you know, these are going to be the same piece, and there's no chance that they're going to manufacture a smaller version of it. So if I see a mech design that has pieces that are the same piece but different sizes, it gives me the cringiest of cringes. All right, just press that in. And I'm just kind of aligning this to see if it'll work. And what's beautiful about something like this is that now it's repeated, right? So there's one up here, and there's the same thing over here. So it kind of sells the thing a bit more, because whatever this is, you know, like some sort of event or something, that there is some sort of a duplicate of it over here, makes it look a lot more realistic. Right, and then if I add a material to it, it kind of will work better too. So those are kind of maybe little vents, one in the back, one on top here. All right, let's go back to the helmet. This area over here looks like it needs some alphas. So let's find some interesting alphas to add to that area. Some screws might work. Again, I'm using the drag dot, so I know that my alphas are going to be the same size. How about this way? All right, a little bit more intensity. Let's up this back to 60. Now you can see that these are not holding the detail very well, and that's because how many subdivisions do I have on this thing? 5. Let me add one more. Let's see if that helps. Yep. All right, how about one this way? So these could be screws that hold in that top part. I don't know. Not working for me. All right, let's try something else. How about this thing? No. It's kind of like a little handle thing. I don't know if this is going to work on here. Nope. Not on the helmet. What's this? It's repeated somehow. I mean, it's a cool alpha, but I don't know why it's repeating. It shouldn't. Let me see what's happening in stroke here. Stroke jitter, roll distance is 1. Should have a lazy mouse. Yeah, I don't know why it's repeating the pattern. That's weird. All right, we'll pick something else. I don't know if it has something to do with the alpha or this, because these are fine. That's a good one. Probably find a good place for a couple of these. Maybe one here. Right, I don't know if I'm going to put multiples of these, so I'm going to go back to drag rectangle for it. Yeah, these could work. They kind of, maybe he pulls them forward to release the mask. That work better here? No. It works here, but maybe not that intense. Maybe with a 40. Something like this. What buttons do I use for my custom menu? You mean what keys do I use on my keyboard? Far Horizons 11. Cool name, by the way. Right, I'm putting multiples of these, so I'm gonna go back. I need to go back to drag rectangle. Maybe I'll just put one of these and put it here in the center. It's gonna be tricky because I need to align these dots like so. Okay, that works, but maybe not that much. There, that works perfectly. All right, let's find another alpha that's fun. What, this one? Sometimes the alphas work good like underneath things. Maybe like that. Just each polish it in. So it's underneath. There, I mean, I started with that alpha, but did something else with it. Looks like this area right here is a good area for an alpha, so let's find something for it. So the buttons, the keystrokes that I use are, I basically keep my hand around the right side of the keyboard. So Control A is my menu, Control Q is another menu, Control X is another menu, Control C, Control V. Actually, I don't, Control V is not a menu. But yeah, Control X is a menu, Control S, I think. No, Control S is save. Sorry. Wrong thing. But yeah, and I also have Control Tab as a menu as well. So Control and the letters, most of them are free, I think. All right, let's see if we can fit this one somewhere. Nope. How about this one? That's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one. I think I can find for it. Like maybe over here, like that. Or the other way. Nope. A lot of trial and error, as you can see. But as you get used to these alphas more and more, you can kind of use them. I don't know. I think this alpha is not working. Let's try something else. You can see I'm not really staying too long on something if I don't really find an immediate use for it. How about this one? I kind of want to create these indentations over here. So maybe take this one and take it to drag dot and a little bit bigger size and not too big. And I'm going to go ahead and pick a size of, let's say, 5. Right, 1, 2, 3. That's good, but I need a little bit more intensity. So let's go to 5 here, 50, and 1. Two, 3. Those 3 are good. Maybe a couple in the front. I think this is good as is. I'm going to turn occlusion. Is it on already? It is. Let's see if it adds any more to it. I like that. That's working good. All right, let's find some more. How are we doing on time? Oh wow. Time flies when you're having a good time. All right, let's see if we can do anything with this. Oh yeah. I think I'm going to go to drag rectangle for this. Now, one of the dangers of alphas is, you don't want to look like you just put a bunch of alphas there. There has to be some sort of a kind of a reason for it. So, and also, you don't want to use too many, right? I have to find a good place for these guys. Also, you don't want to go too big. And remember, you can always put these things in negatively or positively. It works. Even at subdivision level 6, it's struggling. This one, for some reason, in this area. About here. And you can always double up on alphas as well, by the way. Like there's an alpha in here, and I can just supplement it with another alpha like that, although it's not really working there. All right. I think that's a good amount up here. Let's see if I can put some over here. I'm going to revert back to, where are you? This one. And I think the mid value is 45. Now this one does not have too many subdivision levels. I think it is quadded. Let's add 4 subdivision levels. All right, and then I'm going to go to drag dot for this. See if this works. And then maybe put some things in there or not. Let's see if it works the other way. I think it works better this way. Nope, the other way. This. Again, it's the alignment. Nope. My reference has it this way, but I don't know if this is working. I think these 3 things are kind of interfering with that. Need to put another alpha there. I'm not finding, well, let's try some of these. These always work in corners. Oh. Mid value back to 0. And again, I'm using drag dot. Maybe the intensity is too much. Let's go to 40. Okay, still too much. Let's see. Did 40 not take? I guess it didn't. Yeah, 40 is good. All right, so let's just put one of these guys over here. And another one on the other side. All right, so these are kind of conflicting with these ones. So I'm going to decide not to have these ones. So again, I'm just going to use my morph brush and just okay, I think morph target was at level 5. And just straighten these out. Now, interestingly enough, when I go up in subdivision level, there will be a slight memory of these, but I can always smooth them away. Go back to 5. Go back to 6, and they are gone. All right. Okay. Look at how far this thing is. How far this thing is. You know, as far as geometry is concerned, this is really warping that geometry up. So if I were to pull a normal map from that, it would struggle. All right, yeah, that looks better without those things. But I can go back to that thing and put some on this side too. All right, so notice here that the size is a little bit different. So I'm going to struggle to find the right size. Let's see, 4 works. Yeah, 4 works. There, that works. Let's see if I can do something similar in the back. No. All right, let's let it autosave. Far Horizons 11, I mean, what you want to do is you want to use buttons that, you don't want to move your hand too far away from things. So, I mean, Alt, Control, and Shift are things that you use all the time. So I usually pick keys that are closer to that area. All right, this is looking good. I can probably add some details on this part right here. And let's solo these out. Are these good geometry? Somewhat. Okay, I'm going to add some thickness to this. No smooth subdivision level. These are really kind of jumbled up over here. Let's see if I can move this one intersecting piece out of there. And what else is there? Looks like I could do better with this piece. So what if I turn off dynamic? Now, grabbing this one vertex is hard, and my brush draw size, this is the maximum it can go down. So I'm going to alt click on dynamic over here, and I can get that brush size to be even smaller, right? And then I can move these 2 vertices kind of back to where they need to be. Now, as soon as I switch back to ZModeler brush, it's going to complain and tell me that I need to turn that dynamic off, but not a problem. Edge flow over here is kind of a little bit funky, but that should do it right there. Okay, so I'm going to turn this back on. I think it's alt click again. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to zero mesh this at the same. Let's see if I get something a little bit more decent. Okay, not bad. And then I'm going to add some thickness to it. Not that much. Bring up the rest of the helmet so I can see it. Okay, that's good. And then I'm just going to accept this. And tweak it up. Curve on, and let's get some harsh edges on this bad boy. All right, reading on time again. So we got 10 more minutes. If you have questions, now is a good time to ask. How do you move face edge alongside its normal? Oh, so if you just use the move brush, you just basically move things kind of in the direction that you're pulling. But if you want something to go off of its normal, if you hold Alt down, that moves it alongside the normal, right? So same move brush, and you just hold Alt down, and it moves it according to the normal of wherever you click. Broken Nazi or Bascom Nazi. Hopefully that answers your question. All right, so Alt and Move Brush. All right, almost finishing up here. Now this thing has good geometry, so I can just subdivide it to about 6 levels as well. And I can start adding some alphas to it as well. I'll do a few and then we'll call it a night. Again, thank you for the incredible amount of people that have joined this. I really, really, truly appreciate you being on live. And I'm going to use Clip Curve here. Yeah, I truly appreciate you folks being on live. I'm just going to mask this part so I don't mess with it. I don't know why this is not working, but that's fine. I can just move it, I guess. Right. Right, and then go to here. Will I retopo the model and move it to export to other software like Unreal? I won't, but maybe somebody else will. I'm kind of just like doing the concept myself, and then the model is available, and it's definitely, I mean, I know how to do it. I just choose to do other things that are more aligned the lines of my strength. But if somebody wants to pay me to do it, I'll be more than happy to. I mean, it's easy enough to do it. It's not that hard. Coming up with the design to me is more of a challenge. The other stuff is just VFX work, which I do. But again, if you want to hire me for that, then you're probably going to pay me a lot more money than you can pay somebody else to do it. But yeah. For example, if somebody wants to use this in a game or whatever, it's very easy to get it into Unreal. the retopology isn't that hard. Getting normal maps off of this isn't that hard, so you can definitely do it. But again, it won't be, you know, it probably won't be me doing it. Probably will be somebody else who is better at those kinds of things than I am. But like I said, I know the concept, I know the idea of doing it, and I can do it. It's just I mostly do design work. All right, so here I'm using the drag dot to create some of these alphas on here. And you can see even at level 4, it's taking them pretty well. Probably don't even need to go to level 6 on this. But yeah, these details would be added on with the with normal maps, right? So the tertiary details are all normal maps. I think most software nowadays, most consoles and anything like that can handle secondary forms just fine. And it's just tertiary forms. And Unreal, I think now can handle millions of polygons too, so I could just pump it into Unreal that way. I haven't tried it. If anybody wants to experiment, I'll be more than happy to be part of it. But there will be a day where, you know, all that stuff goes away. And, you know, software like Unreal will be able to handle that stuff just right out of the box. Let's try this one. There we go. That would be a good thing to throw AI at, actually. All right, here I'm just kind of trying this type of pattern to see if I could kind of dumb down these corners. Not working too well, but that's fine. See what my concept is doing with this. It's using some of these, so let's try some of these. Again, 45, a number I've grown to hate. Nope, not working as well as it does on the concept, and even in the concept, even in the reference that I have, it doesn't really work too well. It's a problem with getting AI reference is that like it kind of looks good overall, but once you get into the weeds, it's just not. It's just not what you want it to be. You have to really try hard to interpret what it's trying to do and say. I tried this one. It's weird, and it's another one of those that just kind of has a replication. If I can use that to my advantage. Nope. You know what? Let me store a morph target on this guy at level 6. I should be adding these details at level 6. Do I really need a level 6 on this guy? Let's see what level 5 looks like. I think level 5 is good. I'm going to store a morph target at 5, and I'm going to delete the higher level. try a few more alphas on this, and then we'll call it a night. Let's try and see if this does something. Oh, this is interesting. Maybe not so big. I'm going to go back to drag rectangle just because I don't need to put multiples of these yet, and see if this works. It's kind of a good shape for this over here, like a good placeholder for it. There, that works. Finally. And then let's see if I can choose a different one for the front part. Maybe this one. This kind of has a good similar shape. So we'll be doing a little bit more of this type of stuff next time, just adding these types of details throughout the model. Yeah, that works. I wonder if this works even better if I do it this way, as a protrusion. Yeah, it does. Nice. All right, I'm happy with that. We are at 9:03, so I think I'm going to call it a day. I'll answer the few questions that are on here. All right, Michael Villarreal is asking, how do you get super hard surfaces? Is it just the flatten and polish brushes? No, I mean, you know, the underlying topology really helps. But yeah, I mean, you know, you can see here, you know, I've got, you know, like if I want to make this part here harder, right? I use the Damien Standard brush. And let's say I want to harden this edge right here. Right? I mean, I just basically use the Damien Standard and just do that, right? And just hit it with a little bit of, and then the inside part, same thing. Maybe make a bigger brush size and do this, like that. I think a bigger lazy radius would help here. So I'm digging in, and so this is the surface I need to work on, and then for that I just go to H polish, which is, I don't know why this thing got turned off. And right with H polish, another thing that I do here is I pump out preserve edge up to that, and then I just do this right here. So you can see I'm getting a really hard edge. And the other thing to do is to do this edge right here. And you can see that soft edge is now a lot harder, right? So H polish, Damien Standard, and underlying topology, all three of those together will give you good hard surface edges. And of course, it doesn't hurt to know how to use the Z modeler brush. I think that will help. And then after that, it's just basically experience. It's just how much work you do. And of course, your visual vocabulary helps. So I'll put all those things together, Michael, and your hard surfaces will look a lot better. All right, folks, thank you very much for joining me on this Good Friday. And I will be on again in 2 weeks. So my next stream on ZBrush Live will be in April, and it will be April 12th. Okay, so if you guys want to see me continue on this, you want to ask questions and whatnot, please join me then. Otherwise, you can always watch all of these on the YouTube channel that Maxon has, and they will be available forever. So you can watch all of my streams. This is again, I think my 10th project on here, and we'll be wrapping this one up soon, and then getting on to new ones after that. So again, thanks, and